Networking and marketing made simple is for you, the business owner who has a product, a service, or a message that you believe in. My name is Scott Aaron, and each week we'll take a behind-the-scenes look into the real-world marketing and networking tactics and strategies for getting what you have in front of you to a lot more people. Thanks for spending time with me, and now let's get started. So before we dive in, I just want to say thank you to Spotify for, again, being my sponsor for these episodes that are coming out. And, you know, the big question that I always have for people, and Nancy and I talk about this all the time, is, you know, do you want to also have a podcast of your own? And the wonderful thing is Spotify has a platform that lets you make one from a very, very simplistic point of view and then get it out everywhere and even earn money for doing so. And it's all in one place and it's absolutely free. And it's called Spotify for Podcasters. And here's a little bit of how it works. So it lets you record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. I start on my phone, transition to my computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating right away and you can start today. Then you can get it distributed, your podcast, to Spotify and everywhere else that podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are available, but also you can take your conversations with your fans to the next level. You can do Q&A, you can do polls, and this is how you can get people talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads like this, podcast subscriptions, and so much more. And best of all, it is free, no catch at all. And ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, not only has it helped Nancy and I grow and scale our business, but I am well over 500,000 total listens, approaching 600,000. I have people that are paying for a subscription for bonus episodes and so much more. And I cannot speak highly enough about it. You should give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started today.
Hi there. Welcome back to another episode of, it's actually a dual episode of Entrepreneur Rescue Mission and Networking and Marketing Made Simple. So I'm here with my wonderful co-host and husband, Scott Aaron.
Hi, this is Scott Aaron.
Yes. And for everyone who is actually listening, we're actually doing this on video as well. So you can check out our YouTube channels as well. But yeah, we're going to be diving into a topic that was actually brought to us by one of the people in our mastermind. And I think it was a great question. And it's something that we wanted to share with all of you guys. And that is, how are we able to work 3 days a week while running 3 businesses? And so this has been such a big goal for us, right? You know, we have been so passionate about building a business that really doesn't take us, you know, tons of hours and, you know, really stretch us thin so that we're able to, you know, spend time with family and do so many other things. So this actually was a big goal that Scott and I had a couple of years ago. We said, all right, you know, we're making so much money residually and, you know, we hit that goal. What's our next big one? And working 3 days a week was like my huge, big goal. So we're able to do that. And we're going to share with you a few of the tips that we use, obviously, that you guys can learn from us as well. And, you know, I also enjoy, in fact, I always go back to this little story that I wanted to share with you guys. And sometimes things happen in our life. Okay. And we're going to use COVID as the example here, but some things happen in our life that actually push us to kind of move a little quicker, or maybe push us out of the nest in some way, shape, or form. But what happened is, you know, we were working 5 days a week. We were cramming in lots of different things, calls, all kinds of random stuff. And of course, we had the goal to work 3 days a week, but we decided that since COVID had hit, right, here's the scenario. COVID had hit and we now had to homeschool, right? You know, my stepson, Scott's son, Taylor, and we really got kind of thrown into it. We're like, there is no way. And God bless so many people out there that really did both, right? Worked a full day and then had to also, you know, make sure that your kid was on and the Zoom and participating in class and getting their homework done. But we were kind of thrown into achieving that goal a little quicker than we had originally planned, because that really made it so that we had the desire to cut off work and really give our focus on making sure that he was set up for success with his schooling and everything. And then Wednesday turned into adding Friday off. And I don't know about you, and I know Scott's going to share a little bit more about this, but who wants to work on a Friday? I think it's a joke in the the virtual and the remote work world that, don't give me something to do after like noon on a Friday. Don't give me anything at all, in fact, to do on a Friday. So we're going to touch on a couple of those things there. So we're going to break down, right, the three main tips. Okay. And these are going to be big ones. These are going to be more macro, because obviously we could talk all day long, about the individual things that go into it. But the first tip that we really want to dive into is, to organize. Okay, so number one is to organize your business. And I'm going to share a couple tips and then I'm going to turn it over to Scott, so he can kind of share his big highlights there. But the biggest tip that I can give all of you out there, if you are building a business online or you're working remotely or you are really in charge of all the things that go into your business, you got to get yourself organized in a project management tool. Okay. So years ago, whenever I actually did a lot of behind the scenes marketing work for a lot of different high level coaches and consultants, every single one that was successful had a project management tool. Now, a project management tool, they have tons of them out there, right? Everything from the very basic, which is Trello, all the way up to ClickUp and Monday and Asana and all the different ones. And my goal is for you guys to find the tool, right? The project management tool that works best for you. But first things first, right? You want to get things organized and you want to get all your projects and your systems and your routines all put into a project management tool. Okay, so that's my first tip. The other tip, obviously, is going to make sure that as you start doing things in your business, make sure to create and organize your systems and your processes, right? These are things. And in fact, we just got done from our book club in our mastermind that we have. A few months back, we read the book Atomic Habits. And that book, I really loved it so much because it talked about, you can't just have goals. You've got to make sure that you have the habits and the routines around that goal to make sure that you're consistent and you're every day driving towards achieving it. So having the systems, the processes in place to really knock it out of the park are going to be so, so important. So Scott, you want to share anything else under organization?
Yeah, I think for me, I go back to the quote where if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. Uh, I,
Absolutely.
I love that quote. Nancy knows that for the longest time, I was a paper planner type of organization guy. It was just kind of something that was embedded with me when I was personal training from 1998 to 2016. And for me, it was just one of those things. I just liked writing things down. Now, I do hybrid. So I have an electronic calendar, but also Nancy and I actually have our own written marketing and launch plan. Now, we have a goal board that we write things down, but you're what some of you are watching the YouTube channel, but to the right of me, I have a huge whiteboard, and Nancy has one in her office as well that you can't see off camera. And we've mapped out our entire marketing plan for the entire year. So we know exactly what program we're launching, what month we're launching it, when we begin emails, when we're opening cart, when we're closing cart. This is something that we actually do with our expert authority members, our small group mastermind that we run. We help them do this. We help them create their marketing plan and strategy like we have, because people have asked us, well, how are you so on top of this? Well, the secret is we actually start planning the year in the previous November. So what we're doing this year, we actually mapped out in November of 2022. So in November of 2023, we're going to be mapping out our entire strategy for 2024. So again, Nancy gave some great tips, but for us, it's having that marketing plan. It's visualizing and seeing exactly when you're going to do what you want to do. But here's the other great thing, and I'll finish with this, and then we're going to go on to tip number 2. When you plan out so early the way that we did, it actually A, organizes you, but B, gives you times to pivot. So we were actually in flux with a couple different workshops that didn't align with what we were going to talk about. So we actually, because we gave ourselves so much time ahead, we were able to switch certain workshops around to correlate the month that it made most sense in doing those. So yes, we had, I would say, a grassroots marketing plan built, but because we built it so far ahead, we could go back and change and interchange anything that we wanted to. So, that's what really has helped me, but also helped us.
Absolutely. All right. So that brings us to tip two. Sorry if you hear my dog sneezing. um, so tip number two is boundaries. And I will tell you before we even dive into this one, Scott, I just want to thank you so much because you have actually helped me so much with boundaries. In fact, I think we've helped each other, right, over the years, a little bit of with the work life, integration type deal. But boundaries are so incredibly important. And especially, right, when you think about it, if we have a 3-day work week, that means, right, we got to put up some boundaries and protect the days that we do have off. So, Scott, just because I feel like this is so your area of amazingness and you really drove us home, with taking that additional day off, right? We already had the Wednesdays going, and then you were like, you know what, I'm just going to take Fridays now. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess I am too. So, share with our audience, right, a couple of your tips around boundaries.
Well, this is really impactful for me, and I think Nancy kind of alluded to it when Taylor during the pandemic was being homeschooled. I had no choice but to take off Wednesdays and Fridays because I was helping him with school, which God, I mean, I'm so grateful that we got through that time period. And I felt more bad for him than actually us because I can't even imagine. And he was in second grade at this time. So it was a very impactful time for him. And I mean, he's going into fifth grade now, which is crazy. So anyway, uh, when everything was said and done and he went back to school, I had already kind of reworked my schedule to accommodate his schedule. So I was at that time I was working Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And I then kind of like got Nancy on board to do this, but setting boundaries is so impactful. For me, I made a huge transition and a huge change because for me, I come from the world of personal training where you're just working every hour on the hour. If you're not working, you're not earning. So I came from a world where prior to Nancy, I was working about 80 hours a week. And that was like that badge of honor, the grinding out badge of honor. I wore it proudly every single day for about 16 years, 18 years, that is. And when I made the transition as far as letting go of that old me to step into the new me, where I could make and we could make more money working less, we had to apply the concept, and it's working smarter and not harder. So for me, even in the early stages of Nancy and I dating six plus years ago, um, I was, responding to texts and taking calls while we were on dates and stuff because I had this deep rooted fear that if I missed an opportunity, it would never appear again, which is the furthest from the truth because the most valuable thing that we have to offer someone else is our time. And I still say this to Nancy, if you continue to give people your time, they will take what you give them. So for me, I started taking the time back and gave it to myself. So for those that have heard episodes before, Nancy and I wake up between 6 and 7. I get up at 6, she gets up at 7, and we then have our morning workout, breakfast, coffee. I begin my day at 10, she begins her day at 11, and we both cut off between 4 and 5 Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So if you're listening to this and maybe you have a full-time job and you're growing something on the side, this is something that you can put on your goal board that you can work towards. If you are currently running an online business, right, and you are the captain of your ship and you have the ability to work those hours, before we get to number 3, my final tip with this is start with taking off Fridays. Now, this is kind of crazy, but in Europe, they don't work Fridays at all. It's the
Love that.
workday in Europe is Monday through Thursday. So it's a 3-day weekend. when you realize that most people spend the majority of their life working and not living, you have it backwards. So knowing knowing that Nancy and I work from 10 to 4, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. We are working 18 hours. Is that right? 18 hours a week. 18 hours a week, right? There's 24 hours in a day. We are not working 4 days a week. So we have a full 96 hours that we're not working. So we are more, I mean, I would say it's 4 to 1 not working to working at this point. Anyone can create that. So the tip I have first and foremost is start by taking Fridays off. Nance, what's number 3?
All right, number 3 is one of my favorites. So that is to delegate, right? And I think I took one of those personality tests a while ago. And I found out I am definitely not an implementer. I'm a delegator, right? I'm great for brainstorming, strategizing, all kinds of stuff. And I am great at delegating. So delegating the different things that you need to get done in your business is huge. Okay. And if you really think about the value of your time, right? Are you spending your time with your hands and stuff that someone else could be doing, right? That might even be able to do it quicker, right? When we start to think of the things that we do day to day, there's kind of like a little funnel process where you can think about it, right? Is this something that I need to be doing? Is it something I enjoy to be doing? And is it something that maybe I can outsource to someone else and have them be able to do it? And that is really one of the other ways, right? And that's the last tip that we're going to dive into today. But it is the last tip that is so incredibly impactful. And, it goes hand in hand with what I mentioned first, really putting together that project management tool. Because within that, right, in the project management tool that I have and that I use, I have lots of different tasks and projects in there that I delegate out to my team. Just to give you an example, something that we were working on, Scott and I are like, you know what, we really want to come up with a new and different workshop, to do for the upcoming launch that we have. And I'm like, great, I want to compile, all the feedback that we received in the forums and, all the problems that people had whenever they joined the program and things like that. So we can really craft, an awesome workshop. And I thought to myself, I'm like, well, I don't want to go through and pull all that forum stuff together and do all that work. So instead, I shot a quick video on Loom and I created a task and said, here you go. Here's a one-time project. Can you pull all the information together? And then what we're going to do is compile it. And Scott and I are going to do a little bit of co-working around it. But I don't want to take the hour and a half, right, of my time to do that. Instead, I can, lean on my team who I full and wholeheartedly trust, to be able to pull that information and put it together for me. So being able to delegate some of those things on your list can really free up some time so much. And that's it.
So we want to finish with this. If you go to thetimetogrowcom, that is our company website, you will be able to take a business assessment quiz. So people are always asking, what are the things that I need to work on? How do I grow and scale? How do I move the needle of my business? We have a free business assessment on our website. Again, it's thetimetogrowcom, all one word. And this will allow you to kind of pinpoint maybe some of those holes and gaps that currently are in your business. And again, from that quiz, it's going to spit out the things that you need to focus on in order to grow and scale. So happy to offer that to anyone who listens to this episode. Again, go to thetimetogrowcom and you can take that free business assessment to find out how you can grow your business. Nance, you want to say something?
Yeah. And I just want to close out, this is what we do. We literally are so passionate about helping others. And in fact, this is what we have lived, in the past, couple years and being able to work 3 days a week. I can't tell you how many times I've woke up in the morning and I've just been so grateful and have so much gratitude to be able to do what we do. And this is what we do, right? We help other people do this as well. So, definitely check out that quiz. Check us out at thetimetogrowcom. This is our business together and we love helping to support people and really achieve their dreams. And whether it be a 3-day work week or, more residual income in your business or creating, right, a sales funnel for your business, a book, a podcast, so much more, right? We're here to help. So happy to share some tips with you guys today and hope you enjoyed today's episode.
Awesome. Well, again, we appreciate everyone for being here today. Love and gratitude. Again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe wherever you're listening to this, whether it's YouTube or on Spotify or Apple, iTunes. So again, everyone, please enjoy, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so much again for checking out today's episode. And if you are listening through iTunes, Spotify, wherever you are, please leave me a rating and review. Let me know what you loved, what you would like to see improved, or ideas you have for future episodes. And if you are interested in taking your business to the next level, don't hesitate to go to my website, www.scottaaron.net, where you can schedule a free discovery call with me, where I can learn more about you, your business, what you're struggling with, and how we can work together. And don't forget to check out my wife, Nancy, and mine, our free community on Facebook called LinkedIn Leads for Life. We would love to see you in there. Have a great rest of your day. And thank you, everyone, for your support. Grateful for each and every one of you.